Steve here, doing a review for Marvel's Agent Carter, Season 2, Episode 10, entitled Hollywood Ending. Incidentally, it was also the season finale. And I'm just going to put this out here. I did not like it one bit. I thought it was anticlimactic and they left too much vague. So I'll give you a brief synopsis of tonight's episode. Basically, Whitney Frost survives the big explosion at the end of the last episode. And so does Dr. Wilkes. Of course, we don't find out if Vernon Master, Kurtwood Smith, Red Foreman's character survived. They left that vague. And basically, the rest of the episode was trying to stop Whitney Frost before she would open up the Zero Matter universe. She wanted to create some kind of machine so she could bring the Zero Matter back down to Earth, which would destroy us all. And Agent Carter and those guys, they were like, well, we got to stop her. And basically, they got some information from her mobster boyfriend who turned against her. So she really has the worst taste in men whatsoever. And basically, they have a big showdown at the end at the movie lot where they've reopened the Zero Matter universe to lure her in. Then they shoot her with a gamma cannon, take away her powers. Then they have to stop the rift from keep going. Their machine broke down and, well, it was going to rip a hole in the entire planet and blah, 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 blah. We all know what's going on. So basically, like I said, they've ripped a hole into the other universe that's going to suck ours in. Sound a little fantastic if you know what I mean, the plot. And they have a machine that can shut it down, but it's on the other side of the line, the no-go area where everything's being sucked up into the black hole. And it was like, I thought Dr. Wilkes was going to end up sacrificing him, but instead, it's Sosa who decides that he's going to try it. And he wraps this rope around him. It was a garden hose, actually. Starts going for the machine. He starts getting lifted up. And, I thought he was going to get it. Peggy tries to grab the rope and pull him back in. And then everyone's helping her out. Howard Stark and Agent Thompson and Dr. Wilkes. And for a second you kind of wondered how it was going to turn out. And so Howard Stark starts making these jokes about having inappropriate thoughts about Agent Carter. It was like, no, they're not going to kill Sosa at this point. If it was serious, they would have played it serious. They made some jokes. He's going to get saved. And once you know it, Jarvis brings Howard Stark's car, which can fly. They had set it up that he had invented a hover card. And they put some part of the gamma cannon in there. The control device, power supply, whatever. And the car ends up going into the black hole, blowing it up and sealing it off. And that's basically how the season ended. So now it looks like Peggy is going to go back to New York, but Jarvis is trying to convince her to stay. She goes to talk to Sosa. They have a few lines, and then they start making out. Oh, they're going to get together. They find, will they, won't they? Now they will. And as cool as that is to see, it's sort of like, well, why wouldn't they? I mean, they set it up. They had Sosa with his fiance, and that ended up going nowhere. They broke it off, and my theory that I was working on, I kind of looked it up. I had thought that she had said in the Captain America: Civil War that Steve Rogers had saved her future husband from some prison. He was in a POW camp, like in the movie. And, Steve went in there and freed all those guys, and that was one of her future husbands. But then I did some research, and it was behind enemy lines in the middle of this huge-ass winter, which sounded a lot like the Battle of Bulge, which Sosa is in. So now he is a possibility as her future husband. Doesn't mean he's automatically the only, person it could be, but it sounds more and more like it's going to be him. And my theory about how it was the one guy who played the Super Trooper, who was in episode 2 is the obnoxious customer who put a knife to him. He's like, you don't shut up, I'm going to paralyze you for life. I thought it was that guy. Because he had said he was in the POW camp. But anyway, that theory's been blown to hell. So, like I said, I thought it was pretty anticlimactic. because of, like Whitney Frost. He established her as she was going to be the villain the whole season. And the final showdown, basically, she's going up to the black hole. Oh, it's so wonderful. She gets shot in the back and her powers are gone. I thought she should put up more of a fight. The stakes weren't that high after that point. And like I said, you knew Sosa was going to live when Howard Stark started making jokes. So all the drama went out of that. And it's like, oh, they sealed it. Duh. There wouldn't have been a future in the Marvel Universe if they had sealed him. I mean, we all knew they were going to stop the trouble. It was just a matter of how and whether or not someone got killed. And the moment you realize no one's going to die, it's like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic. Now, the other complaint I had is they left a lot of stuff vague. And, well, what happened to Vernon Masters? Did he survive or not? And did he end up getting some, zero matter powers out of the whole deal? And, of course, his buddies, the Council of Nine. Now, we saw most of them get wiped out a couple episodes back, and then after that, they kind of disappeared from the storyline. I was like, what was the point of even having them if that's how they're going to handle it? And we find out that the little pins are keys, so they unlock something. And we didn't see what it unlocked. That question didn't get answered. And we don't know what happens to the other members of the council, the few that survived. The newspaper guy, and of course, Ray Wise's character, the Hugh Jones, the Rock Sun Oil guy. Did they get arrested? Because remember, at the end, Soso, after it's all done, he just finished the file on that. Well, what does that mean for them? I mean, did they get exposed as a bunch of criminals, so they're in jail, or not? We didn't get an answer to that. Is that really the end of the council? Because they're supposed to be the secret empire, so they're probably got people all across the United States. So maybe there's other councils of nine and whatnot that we haven't seen. What does that mean for them? They left it vague, and it's like, I get that they're setting stuff up for season 3, but still, you needed some resolutions to some of the storylines that you had going throughout the story. I mean, the season. And the same thing with Dottie Underwood. What happened to her? Couldn't have given us just a little bit of a clue? Show her getting on a bus somewhere, and now she's a redhead. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like to see Bridget Ryan as a redhead. That would have been cool. Maybe she's going to Toledo. And who was she working for? Who paid her money to rob the bank to get the pin so they could have, I don't know, expose the secret empire or unlock whatever it unlocks? That was never resolved. Who was she working for? Serpents of America, Hydra, Lethia, Circus of Crime. I would have liked to see, who she worked for. Just a brief second with, the last scene of the episode, the last scene of the season. The cliffhanger, right? And now, onto that. So the last scene, of course, is Jack Thompson, Chad Michael Murray's character. He's on the phone talking to someone, I think Sosa. And then, complaining about Los Angeles, how he can't wait to get to New York. There's just constant knocking, and he thinks it's just the hotel people kicking him out. And it's not. Because that wasn't how they're going to end it. It's like, like the hotel manager, well, time for you to go. And that was how they're going to end it. You knew someone important was going to be on the door. Well, it's an assassin. And they shoot him in the chest. Falls down. You don't know if he's died. The mysterious character takes this file that he had gotten to blackmail Peggy, which said she was part of some, war crimes and whatnot, which was also unresolved. Was it a complete fake? Was there more to it? They're setting it up for season 3. All I would have asked for is a little bit more of a clue as to about that file. Like I said, someone takes it, so they have some dirt on Peggy or whatnot. Season 3. And we don't actually know if Jack Thompson lived or died. I'm hoping for death. I don't like the character. The guy's a dick. Straight up, it's supposed to, work in season 1 where Peggy had a show that she could do stuff. She was a woman. He's like, women can't do anything. They should stay in the kitchen. He goes, bitch, I was in the fucking war. I was a fucking officer. Get off my fucking back. I know what the fuck I'm doing. And she ends up showing him, right? And then they kind of kept it going where he still doesn't think she's any good, despite all the fucking shit that she did last season. You know, it's like... And then in this one, he's, you know, taking orders from Vernon Masters, and there was a bit of a conflict there. But, you know, at the end, she just came off as more of a dick. Although I did think his solution in the last episode to blow them all to hell was a pretty good idea. And I thought it was kind of forced out. Peggy's like, no, don't do that. We have to think about the law. And it's like, no, his plan is much better. You know, I mean, he would have gotten rid of Whitney Frost and Vernon Masters. So you didn't have to worry about that guy, and because he's, you know, a powerful guy behind the scenes. So if you tried to take him on, you would have been fucked. And Dr. Wilkes said, you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice myself. Anyway, like I said, that was last episode, and this one he gets shot. And like I said, I didn't like him, so I'm hoping he dies off. And then maybe Season 3 is all about finding out who killed him. So then maybe they'll be in Los Angeles. They won't go back to New York right away, which makes sense because of the one shot, how she had a different boss in that. So basically they're trying to find out who killed Jack Thompson, and then you finally find out what the key locks to. And I'm guessing the Council of Nine is still going to be around, maybe for Season 3. But, you know, last season we had a cliffhanger, which didn't get resolved in this season at all. It was Zola ends up in the same cell as the villain from Season 1, the psychologist. Vernon, the Dr. Faudius character. How they're going to plot something together. But we didn't see that resolved in this season at all. So thinking all this stuff, all these little plot holes will be plugged up in Season 3, I don't know. And we'll have to wait. I don't know if I'll be doing the reviews for Agent Carter Season 3. I didn't get a lot of views for this season for the review, so I don't know if I'll be doing it. We'll just have to see.